Hello, broadcasters. Welcome to episode 265 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Geige. I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's been a good week. Excited to be here with all of you. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard, and we do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with all of you, go through the same flow that you all do with your own shows and productions. Two is to answer any of your questions. That's why we're calling it Ask StreamYard. So if there's anything you'd like us to touch on tonight, feel free to leave it in the chat. We'll do our best to get to as many as we possibly can. And three, I always mention the three pillars of StreamYard, which are ease of use, stability, and professional stream. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. Great to see everyone tuning in tonight from all over the world. We have Marianne, as usual, from Australia. Great to have you here. I think I saw Clarine in the chat from Oklahoma, as usual, too. Nice to have all of you here. Before I forget, we have some awesome shows on StreamYard. We have YouTube channel reviews with Dee and Daniel the second Saturday of every month. A really great show if you're looking to grow on YouTube. Both of them are pros when it comes to all things video and YouTube. And it's fun because they give specific deep dives on individual channels with helpful ideas and on how to think about like your analytics and your community. And then we have Enhance Your Live Streams the last Tuesday of the month with Nick Nimmin. Again, a pro when it comes to all things video, so check that one out for your specific live streaming questions. We do have lots of other great shows happening on our social channels. I need to update these lists, so I'll get an updated list soon. But yeah, we have a good show with Rob Greenlee as well. One thing we've been doing at the start of these so that we get to know a little bit more about you and you get to know a little bit more about us is a fun fact. And the fun fact we had for tonight was, do you have a favorite camping activity? Do you have a favorite camping activity, Dan?
I definitely do. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be as allowed nearly as often as it was, at least even when I was younger. But I love having campfires. Always loved having campfires and just sitting around campfire at night chatting. But yeah, it does seem like, especially in the summer, obviously, they're not a huge fan of campfires, which makes sense, but it is unfortunate. How about you?
It's hard to beat campfires. Campfires is probably my number one as well. But I guess maybe tied is like stories. I guess it usually happens around a camp. Maybe stories like when the campfire's out and you're telling like scary stories or something is fun too. So,
yeah, and you can get like a propane stove and that can, that's close, but it's not quite the same as actually having a fire.
There you go. All right. I already see tons of awesome questions here. We'll get to all of those. First, I do want to make sure I touch on one exciting change recently, which is you can now publish videos longer than 20 minutes to YouTube and Facebook. This definitely was coming up a lot from folks using the StreamYard editing feature, but pretty self-explanatory is after you've done a StreamYard recording or a StreamYard live stream, you're able to obviously edit it in the StreamYard editor, and there used to be a 20-minute limit, and now you can go longer than that, which is hopefully a welcome change.
Yeah, so basically, and for those of you who don't know where this is basically after you finish a show, in the top right, if you click share, there'll be an edit and repurpose button. That's one way to get to our editor. The other one is just on the dashboard on the library tab. You can click on your video, and there's a huge edit and repurpose button. Both those will send you to the editor where you can basically trim a video or do whatever you want with it. And then you can publish it out to social media, both as like a short and a reel or a longer form landscape video. And it's those longer form landscape videos that you can now post a much longer video. It used to be capped at 20 minutes, so you had to kind of trim down your video, but now you can publish up to 2 hours. Yeah, YouTube and then Facebook as well.
Awesome. Let's see what all we have here. We have a question from Abigail says, is there an option for us to be able to react to comments from viewers in the future? So you can do this now when it comes to StreamYard On Air. Like if you're not familiar with StreamYard On Air, it's basically StreamYard's webinar solution, or just the ability to stream on your own website. You can just sort of embed a StreamYard On Air to do that, and you can multi-stream as well. It works just like another destination. And if you are using StreamYard on air, it has its own comments, and you can actually react to those comments. When it comes to the social platforms, you want to take that aspect of it, Dan?
Yeah, so you can't do that from StreamYard, which I assume is basically what you're looking for from the studio. It's just not, it's not an option. It's not in their APIs. At least not that I'm aware of. We always want to check in and just see if they maybe added something. But basically, say like YouTube and Facebook, they have options that you can do on YouTube and Facebook, but then they only expose some of that to other applications like StreamYard. And one of them is we can't react, as far as I know. So I don't think any plans to add that for YouTube and Facebook, just because we don't have access to it. But if they ever open it up, I think that'd be great to have.
All right. Let's see what else. Dimebag says, please let us manually add people to the possible winners list when using the giveaway tool. Noted, Dimebag. Appreciate the feedback. R&R Currency says, I love the music feature, but maybe I'm missing something. Is there a way for me to have it play every song in the list? Do you want to take that one, Dan?
Yeah, so not right now. And I assume play every song, what you mean is some kind of playlist type feature that has come up a few times before. Like, you maybe have 4 songs and you want to just kind of loop through all 4 of them. Yeah, we don't have that yet. Something we've considered. Right now it is manual, so you can basically click on one, then later click on the next one. But there's no concept of looping. If you really need that, where you don't want to click stuff and you want to have maybe 5 songs loop, what I would recommend is just stitch 5 songs together into one track and just upload that. So you definitely can do it. We just don't have a playlist feature built into StreamYard.
All right. EBM Scholar says on the caption transcript, there's no option to edit. Can StreamYard have a feature to edit because certain words might not be correctly captured or with an accent? It's very important. Absolutely, EBM Scholars. It's something that we're actively working on and planning on adding. We just want to get the first version out there to get feedback. But yeah, definitely agree, and it's something that we plan on adding.
Yep. Yeah, especially we know like, certain words that maybe are like your company name or something that like it's physically not even possible for a transcript to know. We know those can obviously be wrong. So yeah, we want to have something for that.
Absolutely.
Or like you said, if you have a strong accent or unique accent or something, it can obviously cause some issues. It does work quite well, but yeah, it's of course going to miss the odd word. It's not going to be absolutely perfect. So we would like to add that.
All right. Question from Peter G says, how's the collab part of StreamYard going? And can you talk about its functionality and what it offers? Yes, it's been a long time since we've spoken about collab, but the whole idea of collab was to make it easier for folks to find great guests for their live stream, their podcast, whatever it is that they're recording. And you can access it if you go to StreamYard.com/collab, right, Dan?
Yeah.
And to see like how it works and what it looks like, and start deciding if it's a good fit for you to find a particular guest. But yeah, it's fun. The team's iterating on it and trying to make it easier and easier for folks to connect with like-minded individuals for their show.
Yeah, it's basically a good way if you want to find guests for your show, or you just want to find other shows similar to yours that you can go on as a guest to basically try and grow your audience. Kind of goes in both directions there. It's helpful for both.
Yeah, that's a good point. Also great for being a guest too. Let's see here. Zan the Man says, hey guys, is there a way to pause the auto upload to YouTube after a live stream ends? So there's not a way to pause it in the sense that when you're live streaming, that data is going to YouTube in real time, essentially, for YouTube to serve it out. If the question is like, so you can make sure that you can that it's not publicly available after the stream, I would just immediately from StreamYard, what you could do is as it's ending, switch it to private or unlisted by just clicking in the top right your destination and changing the privacy setting there. But maybe if that doesn't address your question or there's a different reason, let me know.
I'm also wondering too, Zan, if maybe you have local recording on, because when you stream to YouTube, if you don't have local recording on or anything, it's basically just streaming to YouTube. So when it's done, there's no upload or anything. It's just finished. The stream is on YouTube. YouTube will transform that into a VOD. If you have local recording on, which is basically a StreamYard feature that gives you higher quality recordings, that will continue uploading in the background. So you'll see, an uploading bar on StreamYard and everything, but that's not for YouTube at all. That's just for local recordings to have a higher quality recording on StreamYard. If you don't need that or you're not downloading that recording, you can just turn that off and then you won't have an uploading effect. I'm just guessing based on the way you've phrased that. So if you do have like an uploading thing in the recording tab on StreamYard, that's for local recordings, and that's not actually for YouTube. Hopefully that helps.
All right. Let's do a couple more here before we get to some of the other topics we wanted to hit on. Let's see here. Dr. Constant says, it was nice seeing y'all at PodFest. Love my duck question. Would you guys be able to add a section for giveaways for our watchers? It's awesome that you're able to connect with us at PodFest, Constance. I might need a little bit more context for the question. Like, I'm guessing I'm misunderstanding. So like there is the giveaway tool that Dan and I will do tonight, like we usually do, to do a giveaway at the end of the stream. And you do have to go to, like, it's a separate tool that you basically screen share. If you mean like a way for it to be all happening within the StreamYard studio and not having to use sort of like a separate website for it, that is something we'd like to add in the future. But if I'm misunderstanding the question, let me know.
Yep. But yeah, I would say, like, if you've never seen one of these streams before that Geige and I do, we will do a giveaway right at the end. So if you stick around for, it'll be about 12 minutes from now or so, we'll do a giveaway. And then, like Geige said, that tool is publicly available, so anyone can actually use that. And I know some people, like Tristan, I just saw posted in the chat if you want to check it out yourself.
Awesome. Let's see here. Finanzas, I see your question about having some trouble joining from an iPhone 14. You should be able to join easily from a 14 if you're having trouble. If you go to StreamYard.com/contact, we do have a live chat there, and they can help troubleshoot with you on what might be going on. EBM Scholar says, for vertical videos, downloading and repurposing, can you allow videos to be longer than 1 minute for Reels and Shorts? Some of us want to do a download maybe longer for a longer video. Yeah, that's a good question. I believe the limit now is simply just for the posting functionality, as most of those platforms, it has the minute cutoff. But yeah, definitely something worth considering for folks that might want that type of format, but a longer version of it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I would say noted. We don't have a plan to change that immediately, but good feedback for sure.
All right, lots of other questions here, but I want to make sure I touch on some of the other stuff we wanted to get to tonight. One was, we did already briefly talk about it, but just in case you missed it, a couple weeks ago, we did add captions for Shorts and Reels, which we're pretty excited about. So after you've done your recording or your live stream in the editor, you'll have access to on the what it starts at the basic plan, right? Or professional plan for captions now?
All paid plans have captions in the editor.
Okay, my mistake. All paid plans, which like we talked a little bit about in the chat before, allow you to actually, while you're editing, have the option to show those on screen, which are pretty cool for folks that are watching on something like YouTube Shorts or TikTok, where oftentimes people might have their audio low or off all together. And it's just the first version of it that we wanted to get out to all of you, but we're going to continue improving it, adding things like editing and whatnot, like we talked about before.
Yep.
Jason Lee says, is there a video showing how to live stream with multiple people in the same room and what equipment I would need to accomplish that? That is a good question, Jason. I don't know if we have a video off the top of my head. There likely is a doc in our support articles. Maybe Dana, if you're in the chat, could maybe help link to that, but it is possible we don't have one yet. There's a lot of different options. Like one thing that I've seen folks do with a lot of success is basically just have a single audio mixer and various microphones that are all feeding into that same mixer to help with things like, echo and feedback and whatnot. But hopefully maybe Dana can help out and link to an article there. Barbudo says, when will we get 4K resolution? So we are actively working on 4K specifically for local recording, and that should be coming relatively soon. So stay tuned on that for local recording. Let's see what else we had here. Packard says, question. I know it's probably getting annoying seeing me ask for this constantly. Not at all, Packard. We always appreciate feedback. But can we get a notepad so that those of us who aren't very tech savvy can use it for whatever they need in the studio? Do you want to take that one, Dan?
Yeah, I'd be super curious. I guess I'd just be curious what the main use case is. So is this something you want to mostly read during the show? Like, you've already taken notes ahead of time and you want to read it? Or is this something where you're actually taking notes during the show? Like, you're trying to record stuff during the show? And also just curious, like, I assume you're using something now. I'd be curious, like, what kind of the pain points are there? Like, if you're using, Google Drive or Microsoft Word or something, Notepad, whatever it is. or even like physical notes. What is kind of the pain point there, and why would you want it in StreamYard? Is it just because you're having to switch tabs or something like that, and you only have one monitor? Yeah, we'd just be curious to learn more.
Absolutely. All right, let's see what else we have.
Because I'd add too, like we're definitely open to that. I just want to make sure that it's definitely going to help people, because a lot of people, Google Docs obviously has a ton of features and stuff, and we don't necessarily want to build anywhere near every feature of Google Docs. So I think in many ways Google Docs or something like that would be a better solution. But if there's something really specific that we could only do in StreamYard, we're definitely open to it.
All right. Question here from Mindfully Crocheted says, is there a limit to the number of participants you can have when using the giveaway tool? I don't believe there's any limit, right, Dan?
Nope.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'd be curious what the most somebody has had is.
Yeah, that would be
thousands, I assume, but I'm not sure.
That'd be a cool fun fact. The record for number of entries.
Yeah.
Mark Hirschberger says, is it possible to have a window that plays a YouTube video during a live stream? Yes, absolutely. The easiest way to do that is if you just click the present option at the bottom of the StreamYard Studio. And if you share a Chrome tab with audio, that's a pretty good way to do it. You also have the option to like download it and share it locally or something like that. But the most common way I'll see folks doing it is just sharing a Chrome tab with audio. Obviously, be careful what you're sharing to make sure it's not like a copyright problem or something like that. But that's the easiest way to do it.
Yep.
All right. I'll get back to questions in just a second here, but there were a couple other ones I wanted to quickly touch on. It has been a while now, but we haven't had a chance to touch on it again. So just wanted to make sure folks were aware that not so long ago, Twitter or X, formerly Twitter, finally launched comments integration, which we're really excited about when it launched and continue to be excited about it. So in case you missed that, it is really nice now to have comments flowing in from X, if that is a place that you're streaming to. And another question that we actually had for all of you tonight was, we actually have talked about the editor quite a few times now, but curious how many of you that are using StreamYard to actively record or stream are actually beyond, your podcast or your live stream after the fact, are actually editing and using your content for other types of clips, like, posting it on Reels or Shorts, or re-uploading it to YouTube as a edited video. Curious how many of you are doing that, and how well the StreamYard editor is working for that, and if there's anything additional you'd like to see there.
Yeah, and if you're not using the StreamYard editor, what tools are you using for it?
All right. Let's see what else we have here. Mathematica says, is it possible to have video output of StreamYard as a virtual webcam? So there's not a virtual webcam option in StreamYard as of today. Yeah, the closest thing you could do would be able to do some sort of like custom RTMP thing and then use that RTMP feed somewhere else. But yeah, be curious how you're hoping to use it, Mathematica. Is it sort of like on StreamYard, you want to use the banners and stuff and then like join a meeting call or something? It would be good to learn a little bit more about what you'd want to do with it.
Yeah. Or put it into another StreamYard studio or something.
LV Handcrafted says, is it possible to see which channel a chat comment is coming from when you stream to multiple YouTube channels? Do you want to take that one, Dan?
So no, it is not right now. We're definitely open to adding that potentially. We don't want to like cause too much basically information overload in the chat, which is why we don't do it now. But yeah, we'd certainly be open to adding that. No, there's no way to find that now, other than unless you literally have the YouTube chats open. Awesome.
Lots of great feedback here on sort of some of the flows that you guys use for your repurposing and editing. We'll definitely have to go through these carefully afterwards. Super helpful. Appreciate that. Orlando saying, yeah, use StreamYard as the primary editor, and then Canva after the fact for more transitions and whatnot. Good to know.
Yep.
I think I saw a couple Filmoras for additional editing. Yeah, super helpful. Let's see here. Learn live streaming with John Lacey says we use Live Docs if we need to collaborate before, after, during a stream. Yeah, Google Docs is definitely helpful for that.
Yep. Yeah, I saw Packer Dude's comment too. He basically said he wanted to read his notes. Kind of the thing we were originally guessing, where he just has a bunch of notes before the show, questions for guests, stuff like that. He wants to basically read them while he's live. So yeah, makes sense. I think if we did add something, it would be closest to that and not really allowing you to necessarily take notes or change much during the show, but basically just something you can read off of. Could make sense. I do find a lot of people prefer to just have that in Google Docs still, but we'd be open to it.
The shipment says, when will there be more keyboard shortcuts? Those are relatively easy for us to add, Shipman. So whatever your top priority ones that you'd like to have a shortcut for in terms of like actions on StreamYard, definitely let us know.
Yep.
I should say some are easier than others. It depends on what you want the hotkey for.
Yeah, we're hoping to add more advanced ones, I would say, like a hotkey for an overlay and stuff like that at some point. Yeah, we just want to make sure that we do it in a way that's quite straightforward to set up and use.
Dana says, would love to be able to make cuts and drag and drop to different locations in the recording in terms of the editor. Yeah, that's super helpful feedback, Dana. Any thoughts on that one, Dan?
Just one follow-up question, actually, for you, Dana. I'd be curious, when you say drag and drop, is this dragging camera feeds around? Are you dragging the banner around? Is it absolutely everything you want to be able to drag around? Just curious exactly what you'd want to move around.
I took it as like trimming, like basically I'm doing a poor job articulating it, but basically like say you do a video, being able to move the intro to a different part maybe, or change around video sections. But yeah, let us know, Dana.
Yep. And cuts you can do now, but yeah, it is pretty basic in terms of what you can do. You can't obviously do the drag and drop stuff yet.
All right. Well, I get to a couple more questions here, Dan. Should we go ahead and start queuing up the giveaway for tonight?
Let's do it.
Let's see what else we had. We have a question here from Anna. Any plans for some kind of teleprompter? Yeah, that's maybe potentially similar to Packard. I guess Packard might be slightly different, but it's something we're open to, Anna. It's definitely been coming up more and more. So we'll definitely keep it in mind. All right. I think many folks are already familiar, but we always do a giveaway towards the end of these shows. And to be eligible, all you have to do is type in hashtag the yard. And tonight we'll be giving away a StreamYard pillow and a StreamYard sweater. And if you're ever keen on doing a giveaway like this yourself, we actually made this tool available at StreamYard.com/giveaway. And there's a video walking through how to use it and everything. We'll give you maybe 10 seconds or so to get in your hashtag the yards before we run it. Learn live streaming with John Lacey says, could we have a clear all shown comments /banners keyboard shortcut? That would be super useful. Yeah, that's a good idea, John. And that one's actually pretty easy one to add, I think, right, Dan?
Yep. Yeah, a lot of ones like that are quite straightforward.
Cool. Appreciate that, John. All right. Is the number still going up? Maybe give it a few more seconds there. Let's see what else we have here. Marianne says, is there a way I can add a sound effect on StreamYard without using other external tools rather than hear it via my computer speaker, which you can't really hear as it's far away from the mic? So I guess I can show it during this giveaway, Marianne, but I hope I'm not misunderstanding the question, but we do have the ability to upload music on StreamYard. So you would be able to use that as a sound effect and play it. Do you think I understood that correctly, Dan?
I hope so. Yeah. A lot of people do use the music in the brand tab for sound effects, so I think that would work.
If I'm missing something, Marianne.
Yeah, if you need to do something like really advanced, or maybe like you don't want to hear it yourself at all for some reason, then yeah, you could maybe use some kind of software or even hardware audio mixer to inject the sound, but uploading it as a soundtrack or sound effects is going to be much, much easier. And you hear it yourself, and your guests and viewers and everyone will also hear it.
But yeah, I'll show it for the draw. Usually I don't play the drum roll, but since it came up, I'll do it.
All right.
All right, should we go ahead and do it, Dan?
I think so. You ready for the drum roll?
I'm ready. I'm ready to do it.
Cool. Good luck, everyone. Gotta build in that effect. Orlando.
Congrats. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. If you could shoot an email to contact@StreamYard.com, the team can make sure we get you your brand new StreamYard hoodie and your StreamYard pillow shipped on over.
Cool. Congrats.
Chantel says, is there a known glitch for LinkedIn comments, not all of them coming through to StreamYard? There has been some recent feedback, Chantel, of some issues with LinkedIn comments, not specifically with StreamYard, but just in general coming through the API. But we've let them know, and I believe we're chatting with them about it, right, Dan?
Yeah, so we did actually hear some stuff back from them. It seems like a lot of the people, so they removed timestamps on their end, so you don't know when a comment was posted. So we'll get a lot of people who afterwards will look at the recording and see some comments and say like, hey, I didn't see those on StreamYard. But that's in many cases because the comments actually came after the stream had ended, and it just doesn't say that on LinkedIn. So I think in a lot of cases, that's basically what's happening, is somebody's looking afterwards on LinkedIn and seeing more comments than they saw in the studio, but that's just because they were posted after. So I'm hoping LinkedIn will just add timestamps back, which will at least sort that out. And then we are also investigating if there's a separate issue with comments not actually getting to StreamYard. And yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be anything on our end. But yeah, we're constantly chatting with LinkedIn, so trying to work through that with them.
Awesome. Amazing Yacht Destination says, is there a possibility to get a browser source and an integration with Buy Me a Coffee? So yeah, one thing that we're looking into generally, Amazing Yacht, is just an ability to a broader way to integrate with some of these more specific types of requests. So something that we are actively exploring. Let's see what else we had. Game Set Match Kentucky says, with the giveaway tool, do users have to be actively viewing at the moment of the drawing? Also, is there a way to ban a previous winner?
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Dan.
I'll just say I can take that one. So, no, they don't. It's as long as you post in the chat, you could potentially win, even if you did leave. There's just no way for us to monitor who's actively viewing on social. But if you don't show the giveaway until right before you do it, presumably they are actively watching. Like in our case, I mean, people know that we're going to do hashtag the yard, but if you wanted it to make sure they were active, you could just do a different word, right? You definitely don't have to do hashtag the yard. You can type in whatever you want. So you could just do like a new word every time you do a giveaway, and then that would force it so that only people that are watching right now could actually enter. And then in terms of banning a previous winner, so that's an option we have, and that's automatically on. I mean, it doesn't ban them per se, but they can't win the future draws. So we basically exclude winners from the future draws. And you can turn that off if you want, but I find most people want that on.
Cool. Cindy has a good question. Hello, I'm looking for a platform to work with Mighty Networks. Would I be able to create the video on StreamYard and enter the link in Mighty Networks? It's been a while since I've checked out Mighty Networks, Cindy, but StreamYard would likely work for what you're trying to do. So like for a while now, we've had it where after you've done a recording or a live stream, that video is accessible through a link. And yeah, you could definitely share that link on Mighty Networks, and folks would be able to play that video and watch that video. And they might, and again, I'd have to double check because it has been a while since I've been on a Mighty Networks community. But I think Mighty Networks does have like embedding options as well. So you might even be able to actually embed a video directly within Mighty Networks. Don't quote me on it. I'd have to double check, but I think they do have those types of options. And now that we have on air, there's some cool stuff that can work there too. Like I've had a lot of positive feedback from people running communities and also like course creators as well, using StreamYard in combination with those tools to basically like do a webinar, sell a course, or help give information for folks to join a community. So likely various options there. I'll have to double check how the embedding works on Mighty Networks. Have time for maybe one more here. Clarine says, how did you do the sound effect with the giveaway? Yeah, so if you just go to the brand tab, all I used was that background music option. And so when, I mean, it was kind of not the smoothest thing ever, but when Dan hit draw, all I did is I just played a drum roll that we've previously recorded. And then when the winner happened, I paused it, basically, is how I recreated that using background music. All right. And with that, this was episode 265 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. It's always a pleasure getting the chance to get your feedback on the product and hear from you. We'll see you next week at the same time, Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific.
Awesome. See you next week, everyone.